This begins Chapter 3, Lesson 9, dealing with missing or extra information. We're going to do some problem solving, but before we get into that, let's see what you remember from yesterday when we were multiplying with decimals. So I want you to estimate the product. If I do 4 times $4.12, estimate what that will be, and make sure when you estimate that you always write down what you're estimating it to. So here, $3.23.11. And then for number 3, we're going to do 125 times 5. And we'll do one more. We do 5,487 times 170. Oops, that's supposed to be 7. My apologies. So if I go through and I estimate, the first thing I'm going to do, this is going to be 4 times $4, and that gives me $16. If I'm estimating here, I do 3 times, you go a couple different ways. You could do 3 times 25, or my book has 3 times $20, which is 60. If you did 3 times $25, sorry about that, you end up with $75. And actually I think the $23 is going to be closer to 25, so this is a closer estimate. It's just going to be higher, and this is just lower. 125 times 5, I would do 120 times 5. My book actually has you going to 100 times 5, which is equal to 500. Sorry, I had a moment where I was sitting there trying to figure out 120 times 5 in my head. But if you go to 100, as long as, I mean, the great thing with estimating is there's so many different varied ways that you can go about doing it, is that you can go high like this, or you can try to stay as close as possible. There's just so many different ways. It just works out really well here. So in fact, this would be 120 would be actually 600. There, I was able to solve them in my head. And 5,487 times 170, you can do 5,000 times 200, which gives you an answer of 1 million. Because this times this will give you a 10, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros after that. So that's a review of yesterday. Hopefully you did well on your lesson regarding that. So today what we're going to do is we're going to look at problems in your book that may not have enough information to them. So if I look at Akil, and Akil is collecting books for a reading room for a local Boys and Girls Club. He receives 21 books the first week. So my pen decides to wake up. There we go. 21 the first week. And he receives 39 the second week. His goal is 200 books. So his goal is 200 books. So the question they're saying is, will he get enough books in the next 2 weeks to meet his goal? So week 1 and week 2, will he? How much will he get? In week 3 and 4 to reach his 200 goal, 200 book goal? Well, the problem with this is that there's just not enough information. We don't know enough. Okay, there we go. Because you can't say, yes, he will reach his goal of 200 books, or no, he will reach his goal of 200 books, because we don't know how many books he received. To solve this problem, we would need how many books he got in week 3, and in week 4. So this is an example of some of the problems you're going to come across. You're not going to have enough information to be able to solve them. Some of them you'll have more information than you actually need. So as you go through these problems, think about, do I have all the information that I need to see? If you don't have enough information, you need to identify what information you would need to solve the problem. So let's do another one here. So Lillian, on Tuesday, she puts in an order. She gets put in charge of collecting books. I don't know why the math curriculum's also fed up on collecting books, but they're collecting books. The cost of each book is $3. There were 7 orders on Wednesday, 5 orders on Thursday, and more orders on Friday and Monday. The question they're saying, how many book orders did she collect? Well, let's go through and let's highlight some information that we don't need. First of all, we do not need to know that each book is $3. Who cares? Because they're not saying how much money did she make. They're saying how many books ordered. So we had 7 orders on Wednesday, 5 orders on Thursday. We had more orders on Friday or Monday. Do we know the exact amount of orders on Friday and Monday? No, we don't. So to be able to solve this problem, this is another example where we do not have, we would need to know the number of books ordered on Monday and Friday. If we don't have, once we had that information, we would be able to answer this question, because we can't answer this question without all the information. So this is an example where we don't have enough information. And we had a little bit of extra information in there. So really, when you're going through, you're going to want to think about, what facts do you know? What do you need to find? Is there any information that is not needed? Is there any information that is needed? So focus today as you go through and you solve these problems. You're going to want to deal with the facts. You're going to want to make sure you know what you need to solve the problem. We'll use know what you need to find. So you want to know what facts are there. Know what you need to find. I know it says Mead. Pen doesn't always follow my directions. Do you have any extra information? You know, going back to our other problem, extra information would be the color of the books are blue. I mean, that doesn't have anything to do with solving the problem. And then, do you have any missing information? So when you go through and you solve these, make sure you are identifying the extra information, and you're also taking time to identify the missing information. Make sure that when you do problem 1, that you are paying attention to if there is enough information. Okay, so just when you read through number 1, just make sure that you've got all that information there, because that one's a little bit tricky and that one could potentially throw you off. So good luck on your assignment.